everyone, I'm Rudrani and welcome to Zoom Speak Easy. My guest today has been internet's favorite topic of discussion lately. With so much going on in his life, with that debut as Reggie in Archies, how can we forget why he's being discussed so much? Of course, getting so much love. Talking about Vedang Raina. Hello.
Hi.
It is true though, you have been the topic of internet and for a lot of good reasons. Have you gone through them is what I want to start with.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. It's
love
there. It's there for you to see, and it's also the first time like I'm out there for the world to see.
Sure.
First film, so you want to kind of see
right?
what's happening, see what the reactions are like. So yeah, I mean, I'll admit that I have seen some stuff.
I like how he's like seen some stuff. So I'm going to further go ahead and test how much you've seen. What's the funniest thing that you read about you and the most flattering thing?
Oh, funniest thing that I read about me. What could that be? I mean, I see a lot of like random comments. There's some out there comparing me to certain people and so on. So I find
well done, you've come nearer. Now I will see which people.
No, let's not get into that.
It's the fun part.
Okay, fine. Whenever there's some comment kind of praising a performance and you feel very validated as an actor, as an artist, and you've put so much work into this. For me, this has been most of my adult life with this film. You know, it feels like a 3-year process since I started auditioning and now with the release. So it's really, it's very validating as an actor to be perceived well for your performance. So I think all of those comments are flattering.
I like how he kept it to only acting. There have been a lot of simping, as we call it, in the internet going on as well.
I've noticed. I've seen.
I have noticed it. I like how he's just like, I have noticed it. Is that all I have to say to all the wonderful simping that's happening?
I'm very grateful. I think it's like a very cool thing to kind of be at the other end of as an actor, and it's great. I'm very happy. I'm happy with the attention.
Of course. Well, you mentioned something about it's been funny to read all the comparisons. You've been called young Ranveer a lot, which I think is the greatest compliment. He happens to be one of the
Absolutely.
greatest actors that is there.
Absolutely.
But tell me how you felt when you were seeing, because it's not just one or two. There were a lot of memes, a lot of things saying that, listen, reminiscent. So I want to know how you felt about all of that.
I saw them. I think, I mean, that is also very flattering. I think he's one of the finer actors we have today, and I love his performances. I love his films. I love how much he puts into his craft, and I can only take from it. So even this very, it's not a very substantial comparison. It's more to do with looks, but I'm very happy to be compared to him.
This is a very good-looking actor, so that's again another compliment.
Of course. And I don't personally see it, but I guess if people are saying it, there's some truth to it. But it's great, it's flattering.
I don't want to make Vedang awkward anymore. We really hit it off the camera. So we'll get on to like maybe some simpler subjects and get back to this again.
Okay.
But you mentioned about the first day from the auditions to now, and you're like, this feels like a 3-year process. And all of you have pretty much given everything to it, right? You all had to sort of change your personal lives, make sure you're are working out in a certain way, immerse yourself in characters and stuff. I want to know how that first meet with Zoya was, and when you cracked the audition, like how that audition day was, and finally when you got that message and met Zoya for it. And then, of course, the first day of the shoot, to understand how you had changed with all the prep and everything.
Yeah, so I think the first time I met Zoya was the audition that I had with her. It was the final audition after multiple rounds of them. So December of 2020 is when I first auditioned, which is 3 years back. And the self-tests kept happening. And the final audition that I had, which was like audition 6, 7, I don't remember anymore, was with Zoya, which was so scary, going to the office, and she was kind of taking the lines with me, and she was there, and I was like, I can't mess this up. So that experience was great because she was very comforting, knowing that it's kind of a stressful atmosphere, going into a room and her taking the lines with me for the audition scene. But she was very sweet and nice, and I guess I cracked it there because that was the last audition I gave. And I knew that if after this I don't get a call back after meeting Zoya, then it's not going to happen for me. And I think a couple of weeks after that is when I got the call, which I couldn't I couldn't process it in a normal way because I just didn't believe it when it happened.
Really?
When I got the call, I couldn't believe it. So my reaction was a bit cold. And I didn't even tell my parents for a couple of days because you've been there as an actor when you say you're locked for things and block your dates, and then suddenly they'll say release your dates. So I'd been conditioned that way. So I didn't take it in the way maybe I was supposed to. But then the first day of shoot, it was nerve-wracking. Obviously, there had been a lot of prep after I got locked and we went on floors. So it was a lot of dancing, a lot of workshopping, spending time with the cast. So I guess the atmosphere was a bit comfortable. Also, owing to the fact that everyone is new. So we were all starting together and there was like this passion and motivation that, it's all our first films and we're going to go on set and, do a good job. So I think that really helped on set. And the first day was nice. It was nervous. It was the first time I was on a set like this.
You remember the first shot?
The first shot, I was shooting the cast announcement. So all of us had gone to Ooty to shoot that cast announcement that came a couple of years back. So I think the first shot of me was me and Agastya doing push-ups in the park. So I think that was the first shot, yeah.
Well, now you know where the simping has begun.
Yeah, I guess, from there, from the push-ups.
From the push-ups.
Yeah.
But though it's memorable now when you think back, isn't it?
Yeah.
Vedang, if I tell you, there has been so much discussion about privilege and that moment that you get to crack, right? How do you look at this process of an actor who is not really someone who has people here inside and has been trying to crack? I mean, like you said, it's, I hold on to the moment till I know I'm getting it and before announcing it. And how do you look at it now? Because I know that you're getting a lot of love and there are more opportunities coming your way.
I just consider myself lucky. I think I'm extremely lucky. I only have the universe to thank because there's so many factors that are involved in, from an audition process to getting the role. And I'm just lucky that for my first project, I got something like this of this scale. And so many times it doesn't work out, so many times it does. So when it happens, you're only grateful. You're only thankful to everything that's happening. So now it's a bit different because now it's like, okay, what's the next thing? Before that, it was what am I going to get? Okay. Now it's like, maybe I have a choice to make. It's not like I have a lot of options to choose from, but the decision making is a bit different. The journey is a bit different, but it's always going to keep going on. So I'm just taking one step at a time and going with the flow.
There have been many rumors about a lot of filmmakers actually reaching out to you post they saw your performance. I know that apparently Karan reached out to you and appreciating you, and then there were others as well. How much truth is that?
I mean, there have been people who, from the industry, obviously it comes with the territory.
Sure.
With the kind of project that this was, and we had the premiere where a lot of people from the industry came. So you end up talking to certain people, and there's messages, there's communication. So that's there. I mean, there have been people who really appreciated.
Tell me some that you really thought was, extremely humbling again.
So many people. I've never been flooded with messages like this.
From the industry?
From the industry, from just, general audience of the film.
Sure.
And everything has been flattering, to be very honest. Certain messages always are going to remain close to me. But overall, it's just been a very overwhelming, but overall, fantastic experience.
So no one in specific that you want to single out that you have?
No one in specific.
I like how he's smiling about it. I have also heard that apparently there have been some rumors about you getting a chance to be a part of Jigra, which is Alia Bhatt's production. What is there in truth to that?
I'm unaware.
I like how he's smiling with a straight face. But have there been interesting audition offers and projects since? Yeah,
auditions always, they keep coming and going. Now, I think even before the release, it was a bit different. I was auditioning a lot more. Now it's more, I think the process change. I don't know how it goes. I'm very new to this. But I think the process changes. You're meeting more people now, listening to things. Because there's something out there for people to kind of see and go off of. So that changes, but things keep coming. I'm just going with the flow. The film is just released. I'm sinking everything in, and the next step will be when it happens.
So you haven't signed anything yet?
Not
Contracts.
Sure.
Contracts.
I don't know.
Difficult things to say too much.
Yeah.
So we'll get back to things that Vedang can talk about. I have tried to get some information, but I'm sure you'll tell us soon because I'm pretty sure that you have people reaching out to you because your performance was appreciated. And coming to that now, what did you think of Reggie? You have spent more than 3 years. 3 years to prep and part of it, right? But you know, you've all been there and you've lived it. What did you think of Reggie in the beginning, the good and the bad parts?
Uh, I'll be honest. So when I first auditioned for it, I was auditioning for another role.
For the Archies.
For Archie's role, and so I was invested in that character. So I'd been doing that for a couple of months, and I think December when I auditioned till maybe Jan I auditioned for the same role, and then there was a 3-4 month gap during COVID when nothing was happening, and I'd forgotten about the project. And then they reached out to me again, and I auditioned for Archie again, and then they said, okay, we like you, but we want to audition you for Reggie. And I had a certain impression of the character. I thought he's going to be like a negative, like an antagonist, cocky person who's playing pranks and getting outsmarted by everyone and outdone by other people. So I was like a bit iffy, but I knew that this project is of the scale that it is. So it's obviously going to be a fantastic experience for me to be part of. And I was in no place to say no to something like this. So I auditioned for it. And then I understood that I got the brief of the character. And I saw a lot of potential in it. I thought there was so much more depth to it than I could see in the comics. And Zoya had like given it a lot, more interesting. There were a lot of more interesting aspects to the character. Yeah. So I played off of that. I think she wanted the essence of every single character to be of like innocence. Because we're all 17-year-olds. So there was no animosity and, the way it is, you'd assume it is otherwise. So I think that innocence was kind of what I played off of. And keeping that essence of the character, which is true to the comics, still there. Like, he is still a cocky, vain person. He is full of himself. But there's a lot more to him. So I think that's kind of what I played off of.
Where did you take references from? And I know that it's not just the comics. Otherwise, there are certain characters and actors who have very natural swag. When you said cocky and vain, there are a lot of actors who played that part really well in the past. I want to know your influences because you got that part really light. It was a balance, not too cocky that you're put off by it, but just enough to play Reggie. So I want to know how that balance worked out.
I think my process to like approaching a character is just to remain true to the script and to the director.
Correct.
And the references will come with it because it's a period film. So my references were based on that, kind of looking at things from that era and looking at how people were in the 60s, how, like the style then was, the body language of people then was. And so I kind of got into that more. I don't think I had like straight references, but obviously like the 60s culture. So Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
When it came to dancing also, I obviously can't emulate him, he's a legend, but kind of draw inspiration from that, from Shami Kapoor, from John Travolta in Greece. So kind of those aspects I saw, but it kind of just kept in the back of my head and brought to the table what I thought was me being true to the character, to the script, to the space, and to Zoya's vision.
But interestingly, when you said that it was Zoya's vision, and you thought it's going to be this antagonist or some kind of negative thing is going to happen with the character and everything. In the comics, he is a little bit of a bully. He is that person. But Zoya really flipped it with one particular scene, particularly with Dilton and Reggie. It's also a talked about scene. It's also extremely important, right? The empathy that you show for someone who is in love with you and you're not in love with that person. I want to understand what you thought of the scene while doing it and why it was significant also.
I think it was obviously quite I remember while shooting it also, it was supposed to be a scene with a lot of depth and meaning. So when even Yuvraj and I were approaching the scene, something about that day was just so. It happens when you're an actor on a set. Some days are just magical. Yeah. It felt like one of those days. Like everyone had kind of left. The crew was a bit small that day. It was the last scene of the day. It was really dark. We were in Mauritius. No noise, no nothing. So those kind of things add to the atmosphere of the space. And the way Yuvraj and I approached it also, it felt very real. And it was just, I was just coming from a place where, it's someone you care about and you understand their feelings for you, but you have to say it, you have to express this to them in a way that it doesn't hurt them. You know, it's like saying no to somebody.
Yeah.
But he obviously means a lot to me regardless of that, and I want to keep that friendship intact. So I think, and it's connected with so many people, that scene, and I'm so grateful that I did it. It's the most rewarding thing as an artist, that you do a scene or something that's appreciated, and for this one in the way that it was. So yeah, I think it was a good one.
Magical, as you say it.
Yeah.
But I love that it was done that way also, because it's not there in the comics at all. That's not how it works out. And I think it was lovely. Some things I feel it's important to kind of, and in today's time, to sort of reapproach and give it like another look.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those
Yeah,
things, isn't it?
Also, yeah, it was also from an era where this wasn't as talked about as today. So you have to keep that in mind with
sexuality as a subject, or even gender discussion never used to happen.
Yeah, in the 60s it wasn't really a thing. So to approach the scene in that way, keeping those things in mind, a lot of layers to it. So yeah, I think it turned out to be a good one.
You know, we are talking about the love, but we'll also talk about some of the mixed reactions that the film has also got. You know, you as an actor, you can only do your part the best you can, right? And which you have. I want to know, what do you do when you read the comments? Do you filter out things that you don't want to? Do you take it with a pinch of salt? Also because, you know, you're someone who wants to get feedback and wants to understand what works and what doesn't work from a very honest point of view. How do you look at it?
I mean, I think I'm very new to the space. So the comments, the attention, the reactions, public perception, all of these things I'm still getting used to. But I think I'm able to filter out things that come from a place where you're trying to be constructive in your feedback, or when it's something that comes from prejudice. I will appreciate a comment that talks about like the craft aspects of things, you know, like you want to talk about cinematography, screenplay, acting, all of those things are, it's good to see an opinion on it. And it's art, like people are going to have varied opinions. Even the best films are, like, people don't like those as well. You know, it's always like varied opinions on things. So I'm open to that. But when it comes from prejudice, that I'm just not going to watch this film and for so and so reason, and people not even giving it a chance, then I'm able to filter those out. Yeah, I think, I mean, I'm new to this, so I'm getting used to this space.
But did you all have like a meet where you all were discussing the good and the bad? Did that help with the rest of the cast as well?
No, not really. Not really. I don't think.
You kind of moved on now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to sit and talk about, you know, like the way the perception has been. But I think, yeah, I guess we moved on. I don't know. It just feels like after release, it's just such an overwhelming wave of like things happening.
Yeah.
So everyone's taking it in their own way and kind of.
I think it's wonderful how you all also have that bond. I feel like you could see during promotions, when you're out there is a genuine friendship between all of you all. Whether it's you, Yuvraj, Agastya, Suhana, you know, Dot, Khushi, everybody. I want to know about first meets. How your first impression was when you walk into a room. I did this with Dot. You know, when you first met all of them, all your cast members, till the end, how you all became that friends. And because I think it's a learning, right? It's impossible that you think the first time when you meet someone that you've understood them. So I don't know about that.
See, it was, we've spent so much time with each other.
Yeah.
It's been so, you know, we've kind of grown together, it feels like. 'Cause it was most of our first films. So it was kind of like we were learning and growing and understanding the way things work together. So that anyway brought us together. And the fact that we did so many workshops, be it dance or acting, we were spending time, we were, you know, in a space where we were vulnerable with each other and we were opening up, and we were on an outdoor scared where for 1.5 months you're away from home and these are the only people that you have. Yeah. So we genuinely, you know, formed a very true bond, a very like a real bond, and I think that translates on screen as well, especially if it's a film about friendship. You need to kind of have that equation with the people you're acting with. So I'm very grateful for these people. I don't think I would have been able to do it without them, because I would have felt very intimidated in a space where everyone was coming from some sort of experience, or, you know, it felt very, we felt like a group and we came together a bit more because we were all new and we were all understanding the space and the craft and all of these aspects together.
So tell me how you would describe it, like a quality of theirs that you thought was like something that you admire and something that's annoying, like how friends have.
No, nothing annoying. I think.
Okay, what do you admire?
What do I admire? I admire like there's so much to take from everyone. I think so. Mihir, he comes from a lot more experience than the rest of us. So I was always taking from him, like how he approaches, because he knows the technical aspects of things a bit better than us. We were coming on set and we didn't really understand what marks were and all the technical
where
aspects.
All the cameras are.
Yeah, that you kind of learn on the way and with the experience of actually practical experience.
Correct.
So those things I had a lot to take in from Mihir. So much from like each of them. Dot is just so talented. I was in awe of how she's so good at music, and I love her taste and I love all of her songs. And then she was able to like give in so much to this kind of craft. And I also come from music a little bit, so we were able to connect on that level with each of them. Yeah. Like Yuvraj and I think he's the sweetest boy ever. He was giving his boards during the film as well, and I've also done my boards and stuff, so I knew where he was coming from. I was trying to help him with his studies,
So
and we found a bond. And even Aggie, like first time we met, he kind of just broke the ice. So we were all kind of just in this together, and there was a lot to take from each other for all of us.
Suhana, Khushi.
Suhana is, I think I have a great bond with Suhana as well. It was, we were just all together so much. Khushi, I think we connected on like so many levels. We had similar taste in music. It started from like, day one only, we were kind of bonding on certain things. Everyone just as a group, it felt like a nice, close-knit family. That's what it really felt like.
You all went on KBC.
Yeah.
And I could see that bond because you are getting teased a lot.
Yeah.
You were being asked if you are single. So I will ask Tara, I mean, Dharam, you did say that you were.
Yeah.
But you were asked.
Why would it change?
I don't know. It's been a while. You say it so sadly. Listen, please tell somebody this is sad. No, it can happen. There's hope. You have to give people hope. So the last time you went on KBC, Mr. Bachchan himself said that it's looking unlikely that he is because he felt that you are not.
Yeah.
So has that changed?
Firstly, I was so nervous in that space. I think
You didn't
I was sitting on that chair, and when you're in the moment, like things are flowing, and then suddenly I look in front of me and I see Mr. Bachchan and that music plays. No. And I'm like, what is happening with my life? I felt like I was in a dream state. So I was just a bit spaced out throughout that, and they were asked. I didn't know how to respond. I was fumbling. I had to play my guitar and sing a bit. I was messing all my chords up. I was like all over the place there. But yeah, those people asked that question, and Mr. Bachchan was pulling my leg a little bit, I think. And I think my answer is the same as what I said that day. When the time is right, whenever that is, hopefully the situation changes. But as of now, it's the same.
It's the same.
Yeah.
So there are a little bit of rumors with all the sweet promotional clips and everything else that you are dating Khushi. So there's no truth to that?
No, man. We're really close friends. I think we've connected on I have a really strong bond with her. Yeah. And we've known each other for so long, and we connected on many things. Like I said, like it started from our taste in music, and so I think our friendship comes across in a certain way that people are gonna always perceive it, in certain ways. But yeah, nothing more to it.
Sure. I mean, of course, you're friends. You went to the Christmas party and you all were there also, right? Like, of course. He's
I was trying to think about Christmas. Yeah.
It was this party and stuff like that. So you've been friends for a while.
Yeah.
But internet. I think they like someone and they like to ship. So it's not a bad thing. Shipping is a culture that you also.
Yeah. I mean, people do what they kind of want to do, and you can't
stop them.
You can't stop them, and you can't hate on them for that.
No, you can't. I think it comes from a place of, a love only.
I think it's coming from a place of support and love.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing. That's a great thing to see.
Cool. Okay, this is my last segment. This is the fun question. What's the funniest nicknames that people have given you?
Funniest? Vedu. I get called Vedant a lot. It's not my name. I think that's Reg. Yeah.
That's a nice one to have.
That's a sweet one, yeah.
Okay. The weirdest DM that you ever received?
Weirdest DM?
Or it can be embarrassing.
Embarrassing DM, weirdest DM.
Post the release.
Post the release. I can't think of one, but off the top of my head, somebody just got really aggressive. They said, "Hi, you're so sweet. I really love you." And
Yeah.
then I didn't reply, and then they said, "Go to hell" or something along those lines. A bit more vulgar than that. But I was like, I thought you were, you were being
Exactly.
sweet and supportive, but then it suddenly switched.
Okay, that's
So-
that's weird. For sure. Okay, one quality of Reggie's that you like and one that you absolutely don't.
Quality of?
Reggie that you like.
One quality of Reggie that I like, that he is he cares about people around him and is going to look after them. What I don't like is how vain and cocky he is.
Yeah.
He can tone it down a bit. Yeah.
Way to Vedang's heart is.
Way to Vedang's heart is kindness. Yeah.
Okay, what is Vedang looking for in his life partner?
In his life partner, somebody who's loyal and sweet and hardworking.
Reggie is a natural flirt.
Reggie-
Is Vedang.
Oh, I'm not. I'm horrible at I don't do it. I'm actually I'm a bit more on the like I'm right in the middle of the spectrums. I'm more on the introverted side than extroverted. I'm very shy in public places and very contrasting to my character.
Okay, Vedang's wish list will have collaboration with which female actor, which director, and which even male actor.
Oh God, that's such a tough one. Collaboration with which female actor? Can I go outside this industry?
Sure.
Sure, I can. Okay.
I mean, I would have loved if you give me within. We can give you two. Come, one outside and one inside.
So there's an actor called Saoirse Ronan. She's fantastic. I would love to work with her. A director, there's so many. It's so hard to name one, but I think it's everyone's dream to work with Bansali.
Yeah.
And a male actor who I would like to work with. How can I name one? I'm a big fan of Ranveer Kapoor. I think he's a fantastic actor.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the best meme that you've seen about yourself?
Best meme.
Like it can be a funny one, can be anything that you.
I'm seeing some edits going around. I think they're really sweet. Some of them are really funny. So those.
Thank you, Vedang. I
Thank
hope
you.
you
Thank you for
enjoyed
having
it. Thank you for being honest and giving us an insight into a little bit into who you are. We're going to do a part 2 of it soon. I'm sure there'll be
Sure.
so much more to talk about. But I hope you had fun because we did.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much. All the very best. And we're pretty sure that you have so much more to offer.
Thank you.
Lots
Thank
of
you.
love.
Thank you. Lots of love.